A lot of y'all owe Juan Soto an apology. And what is Carlos Mendoza going to do with the pitching rotation? Let's talk some Mets baseball with James Schiano of the Mets'd Up Podcast. James, thanks for hopping on with this today, such short notice. Let's get straight into this, man, because everybody was hating on Juan Soto because of the slow start that he had. He has been and dominated the month of August. I even saw a tweet where they said that he's the first player ever with at least 10 home runs, 10 stolen bases, and 25 walks in that month alone. There's a stat for everything, but folks said that he was unhappy in Queens and he was a bust. You heard all of it, but he's since turned on the generational juices at the right time. So why do you think that he's caught fire as of late?
Let's go, Brandon. Good to be here. I mean, we all knew he would. Like, I think anyone who was having those takes, they were kind of unsubstantiated. Juan Soto always everything under the hood, hitting the ball hard, lifting the ball well, taking the right pitches, swinging at the right pitches. Probably a bit too passive at times for the liking of a lot of Mets fans out there who are talking about the price tag, but this is one of the greatest hitters of the modern era. One of the greatest hitters most of us are ever going to see in our lives. There was literally never even a shadow of a doubt that he would find a way to come into his own. Similar to how Carlos Beltran struggled, similar to how Francisco Lindor struggled in the first go-rounds and Met, Juan Soto just didn't struggle as much because he's that much of a better hitter than both of those guys. It's not even close to a shock. We're probably at a spot right now where Juan Soto might be the second most valuable player in the National League. Like, you're almost guaranteed to get down ballot Juan Soto MVP votes this season behind Shohei Ohtani and whoever else in between those two. Possibly nobody, depending on how September turns out. Like, he's that good. He was always that good. And shame on all the people that doubted this even for a second, especially those Yankee fans who were petty about it the whole time, making up their false narratives and rumors for no good reason.
I'm glad you called out the Yankees fans being petty. I just want to instigate a little bit here. Who's having a better season, Soto or Aaron Judge?
I can't front on that one. It's definitely Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge with the 1100 OPS. He's going to win the MVP again. He is, in the regular season, there's absolutely no better player than Aaron Judge. There's no doubt about that.
Thanks for not being a politician with that answer and just giving it to me straight with no chaser. Soto and the bats have been hot, but on the flip side, the starting pitching has been a little iffy. Some of the guys, Sean Manaea had another disappointing outing, allowing 5 runs on 8 hits in just 3 2/3 innings. The day before, Kodai Senga allowed 5 runs on 7 hits in 4 2/3 innings against, as you know, a bad Marlins team. Mendoza said on Monday that they're part of the rotation, but with how good rookies Nolan McLean and Jonathan kind of looked at in their debut outings, do you think Mendoza needs to kind of rethink that and make a change to that starting rotation?
Kind of. This will be a little bit more of a politician's answer, but I think that we're got to get to a spot where we see some creativity maybe with how Mendoza deploys these guys. I remember back to when Sean Manaea made a season debut, that game right before the All-Star break in Kansas City, where he came in and followed up 5 innings or 4 2/3 innings, whatever it was, from Clay Holmes, and kind of just ran right through this Royals lineup over a 60, 70 pitch outing. Because we keep watching Sean Manaea make these starts, grit his teeth, get to that 3rd, 4th, 5th inning, get to about that 65, 70, 80 pitch line, and then completely nosedive. And I do wonder if there could be some creativity like we see a lot of times in college baseball, like we saw the Detroit Tigers do down the stretch last year, where you just kind of suction cup Sean Manaea and Clay Holmes together. You say, Clay Holmes, you got the first 3.5. Sean Manaea, you get the next 3.5. One of you guys can make it through 4. That's great. Then right there, we get even closer to Edwin Diaz. Such different arm slots, such different approaches to throw from different arms either way. I think that there's a lot of room for Carlos Mendoza with all these guys in rotation now, with Tyler McGill coming back, with Brandon Sproat very likely up with the major league team this week, to be like, hey, you're a 3-inning guy, you're a 4-inning guy. We're all going to work together and get through all of these games, because you kind of have to start treating this like the playoffs for a few weeks until hopefully you can clinch something. But I think that there's room for creativity, and it would help this team tremendously.
All right, now let's break down the nitty and gritty on this team, because we're getting to the final hours of the regular season. In the past couple of weeks, we've seen this Mets team lose a series to the Nationals, beat the Braves, sweep the Phillies, then lose a series to the Marlins, then take game 1 of this Tigers series. You don't have gray hair, but I do from watching this team. I understand that you're not going to win them all in baseball, but I'm asking you, what's stopping this team from being more consistent? And do you think they have enough star power or creativity, as you mentioned, on the roster to make a deep run in the postseason again?
I wish I knew what stopped this team from being creative, but it does seem like that is the pitching at the end of the day. Like there's always that meme that goes around Twitter where it's like kind of the three buttons: hitting, starting pitching, relief pitching, and the Mets can never align those three. It's been that way basically since the end of May, and it's crazy to say, but there is definitely enough star power on this team to make a run. Like we've seen how kind of frenetic every team in the National League is. Every team in baseball is. This is one of the most wide open times going into the playoffs I can ever remember as a baseball fan or as a content creator. And I think that now seeing Mark Vientos hitting, Pete Alonso, of course, Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, Marte is hot, Beatty's playing well, Jeff McNeil keeps hitting, Brandon Nimmo keeps hitting, Francisco Alvarez is trying to make a Herculean comeback with one broken pinky and one partially torn ligament in his thumb on two different hands. You can hit your way through almost any team in the National League right now. There's no doubt about that. It's whether or not they can actually find any level of consistency with this rotation. I'm a little scared of putting too much on these rookies going through a playoff run, but until they show they can handle it, we have to assume they can handle it. I think there's going to be a lot put on their plates through the end of the season. Both McLean, what he's done so far, Tong after that debut, and again, probably going to see Brandon Sproat, I'm assuming maybe late this week or early next. It's just about, again, whether or not they can push those right buttons and whether or not they're willing to kind of push the thresholds of creativity to get the most out of all those guys.
Real quick, since you mentioned Francisco Alvarez, at the beginning of the season, he said that they had the best lineup in baseball. We're, 130-plus games into the season. Yes, no, why?
Maybe not the best right now. The Yankees might have that at the moment, but I think right now, the National League, the way the Dodgers have been hitting, what they've not gotten out of Mookie Betts, we definitely might. And we know if these 9 guys are up to their standards and Alvarez is back in that lineup, there's not one easy spot. Like we're getting up and down production from this whole team. Even everything that we've been saying about running the scoring position for the entire season, just based on how good we've been over the last month. We're up to the 3rd highest OPS in all of Major League Baseball runs the scoring position. Like we're doing things right now from a lineup perspective that no one else is doing. And just being able to do that, sustain that to some degree, and having average pitching, which is exactly what we kind of expected from this team heading into the season. That was what the vision was. Pitch well enough to hit your way to these wins. A lineup can take over a postseason just like a pitching staff can, and this lineup is good enough to do that if these guys click the way we've seen them click over the last month.
All right, man. Thanks for hopping on with us.
Thank you, Brandon.